Welcome to the World News on Myanmar International. I'm Maria Abril. A United Airlines jet was shaken by heavy turbulence on Tuesday and diverted to Denver International Airport in Colorado in the United States. 21 people on board were taken to hospital suffering from head, back, and neck injuries. Flight 967 had taken off from Dulles International Airport outside Washington, D.C., bound for Los Angeles. A spokesman for the Federal Aviation Administration said the flight encountered a severe turbulence above Kansas. It is not clear what caused the turbulence and whether it was associated with thunderstorms in the area. Britain's support for the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan radicalized many Muslims and triggered a big rise in terrorism plots that nearly overwhelmed the British security services, former head of the Domestic Intelligence Agency said on Tuesday. Giving evidence to the official Chilcot inquiry into the Iraq War, Eliza Manningham-Buehler, former MI5 Director General, said the U.S.-led invasion had substantially raised the number of plots against Britain. She said the intelligence available at that time was not substantial enough on which to make a decision to go to war. After the start of the war in Iraq in 2003, intelligence services identified about 70 to 80 British-born Muslims who went to Iraq to fight Western forces. According to Manningham-Buehler, British involvement in Iraq radicalized a number of young people.
Our involvement in Iraq radicalized a whole generation of young people, some of them British citizens, not a whole generation, a few among a generation, who saw our involvement in Iraq on top of our involvement in Afghanistan.
China said on Wednesday that its Three Gorges Dam had helped prevent catastrophic flooding on Yangtze River. Liu Ning, the country's Vice Minister of Water Resources, said his country was much better prepared in general to deal with flooding, with improved dikes along Yangtze, the longest river in China. But he cited that massive dam project as a major factor, saying it appeared to be fulfilling one of its main goals. When water hitting the dam reached its peak on Tuesday, the sluice gate successfully held water in the huge reservoir, while releasing a small amount to avoid it surging downriver. Much of southern and central China has been suffering flooding after weeks of torrential downpours, and by Wednesday, the death toll had risen to 701. Flooding is common in southern China during the annual rainy season, though this year has been the worst for some areas in decades. Dozens have died in Peru due to pneumonia and other respiratory illnesses due to a cold snap, health officials said on Tuesday. Temperatures in the town of Masa Cruz in the southern region of Puno have dropped to a negative 22 degrees Celsius, the coldest weather in 3 years. The intense cold weather affected farmers in Masa Cruz, which is located more than 3,900 meters above sea level. In the town of Juliaca, also in the region of Puno, temperatures dropped to a negative 12 degrees Celsius. Hospitals were packed with patients suffering from respiratory illnesses. Most deaths have been reported among vulnerable population, which is children and elderly. An intense cold front is hitting southern Latin America, causing deaths, cold closures, and blocked highways. Over 500 penguins washed up dead on Sao Paulo state coast over the weekend, puzzling Brazilian scientists about what caused the animal deaths. Brazil's Environment Agency, IBAMA, reported on Tuesday that 533 dead penguins washed ashore, along with 28 turtles and 6 dolphins. The animals were taken to laboratories where biologists will carry out autopsies to discover what provoked the deaths. Some penguins were found with their stomachs empty, pointing that they were likely starved to death. Overfishing and strong and colder than usual water currents are among the possible reasons why they might have had to swim further to find food. It's nothing short of sparkling find. A group of divers in the Baltic Sea stumbled across what many treasure hunters would call liquid gold. While searching a shipwreck, they uncovered numerous bottles of the famous champagne Veuve Clicquot, dating back more than 200 years.
This is really a treasure in the real meaning of the word, both as a drink when you have the privilege to be able to sample it, and also from a historical point of view. There's a whole history that can be written about it.
The champagne is believed to be from the 1780s, and if so, the effervescent treasure could fetch as much as 50,000 euros a bottle. That's the end of the World News on Myanmar International. I'm Maria Abril. Thank you for watching.